Okay, folks, thank you for joining us to the Vinal Square Strategic Action Plan Committee meeting. It's April 22nd, and thank you all for coming. I'm sure there'll be more jumping in, but I wanted to first kick off this meeting by reminding everyone that the meeting is being recorded, just so you know. We have to disclose that with the open meeting, but we do that to make sure make sure the notes are correct and review afterwards before then it goes away, I guess. I want to stay active. My name is Joe Tierney, and I'm the current chair of the committee. And first I want to welcome Virginia was our select board liaison, but now she's joined the committee, which is a nice addition. And Mike was our planning board member, and he is wanting to stay on with the committee. We have so much fun here that he is locked and loaded to continue on as a resident. And after the elections, congratulations to Cynthia Fernandez and welcome.
Thank you.
We appreciate you being here. And Aaron Cunningham she's on the planning board, and Aaron Cunningham is the select board member liaison now to the Vinal Square committee, but he sent me an email saying that he could not make this first meeting. I think there's conflicts with school vacations or travel. And so a couple of things I wanted to mention is that I've had a great run. Brian's here, and just to make sure and confirm that we have a quorum, Joan is also dialed in remotely, Laura Lee is remote, Brian Creamer, and that makes plus 3 of us here on the committee. And Cynthia, we get more than a quorum here, so it's good. We can continue on with the meeting. So I've had a great run, and I've had a lot of challenges, but we've got a lot of things done. There's so much more to do here with the Vinal Square committee. But I'm just at a place where I right now work at night. I was able to get out of that to join here today, but just to be able to run the meetings, a lot of it's gonna have to be remote for me in the time being. And so the first meeting agenda item that we have is to go over some elections to see who would like to put their hat in the ring for the chair position. And I don't know if there's a formal way, Paul, that we need to handle this, but we can open it up, and I would like to make a nomination if anybody else wants this be heard first. I'll open up to the floor.
I can't be.
This goes to the committee itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is kind of where we've been at, and that's why I'm very pleased to have Mike and Virginia join us here. But I did have a discussion, and I would like to nominate Virginia to have an election to see if she would like to take on the chair position. I would be more than happy to have her. She's done a phenomenal job as a select board member, but then also our liaison. She would certainly be an upgrade for me, but I would like to see if she would be interested. we keep ratcheting up the team and the leader. So I would like to put it over to Virginia if she would like to take it.
I'll accept the nomination.
Excellent. Virginia accepts the nomination. Would somebody like to propose that we vote on Virginia for the chair position?
Yeah, I propose we go for Virginia as chair.
Mike makes a motion to vote for Virginia as chair. Anyone like to second it?
Sure, happy to.
Oops.
Excellent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Welcome, Virginia, to be the next chair of the Vinal Square Committee. We appreciate your service.
Okay, so with that, we're gonna finish the nomination and election of the officers. We should appoint a vice chair who supports the chair when they can't be at the meeting, and may have other things, but could anybody make a nomination or would like to nominate themselves for vice chair?
Who's the current vice chair?
We don't have one.
Wasn't it?
We do, but
We
then,
do?
yeah, it was,
Who was
I
it?
was looking at the notes, it was Laura Lee and Ken Pantuso, who's been off the committee for a while.
Okay, so is
So-
our current vice chair Laura Lee?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone else is interested because I'm so busy with the North Town Hall. I'd rather not, but I can do it if no one else is interested.
I'm not going anywhere, I just can't take the lead, so I would be more than happy to continue to assist Virginia in that role, and it's her lead, but anytime she needs me, I'd like to be available for her.
Okay, so Laura's declined and Joe has nominated himself. Are there any other nominations? That's perfectly
Yes, I shouldn't
acceptable.
see if anybody.
Are you okay with that, Laura?
I am fine with that. That sounds great. Thank you, Jennifer.
Okay. So can we don't need to make motions and second the nominees,
No,
right?
you're not.
All right, so let's, all those in favor of Joe being vice chair?
I
Sure. Yep.
Any other?
You sure about that?
Sure, yeah. Okay. And now we need a clerk, which is really to mostly do the minutes and make sure they're posted on the agenda center. Is Laura Lynn is the current clerk? Is that correct?
Yeah, Laura Lynn, you're the current clerk. Anything to say about your current position? Are you okay with continuing? Laura Lynn?
Stay with it?
You're on mute.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I'm happy to stay on as clerk.
Right.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Okay, any other nominations? All those in favor for Laura Lynn as clerk?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. So first up on the agenda, I want to welcome Leslie Kimball. She's the director of the library here in Chelmsford. And you're going to give us some updates specifically on McKay and the library strategic plan.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me come. I'm happy to be here on a really beautiful day. So a couple of quick
The microphone for the
McKay.
folks at home is here, so you might want to just.
So talk in that direction. Don't get to hear anything.
Can you guys hear her okay?
Probably once I face you, you'll be able to hear me.
We hear you fine.
Great, thanks, Lauren. McKay is going great. We're really excited. When we looked at 2024, our visits were up about 35%, circulation up about 20%. So we're definitely seeing, since we reopened in 23, we're seeing that great growth that we've been looking for. Some of that's programs, some of it's just having our doors open and people realizing that we're there, so we're excited about that. Some things that are coming up, we're gonna do outdoor story times on Fridays in June, which we're excited about, be able to do that. We've got our seed library is up and running and refreshed. You know what a seed library is? It's basically a collection of seeds. You can come and take as many as you want. You can plant yourself some kale, you can plant some carrots. There's herbs, there's flowers, all different things. You come and you take what you can use. So we're hoping to do also some gardening programming around that as well. And the Spice Club is going on every month. It's a different spice with recipes. You can come and grab that. And you know, if you cook stuff and you want to share it with the people at the library, we won't stop you. That would be terrific. The summer concerts on Wednesdays, that schedule's coming together. We should have that out pretty soon, which of course is probably the biggest thing that happens at McKay and brings in a lot of people. So we're very excited about that. We do have lockers, pickup lockers, that we're about to open up. They should open up in May. So basically 24/7, if you request that you want to pick up your holds in one of those lockers, we'll give you a code. You go, enter the code in, grab your stuff, and you're all set. So if you can't get there when McKay's open, you'll still be able to pick up items that you have on hold.
So it's gonna be on the porch?
It's on the porch, yep, it's bright blue, so when you go by already, you'll be able to see them. We're just getting some lighting worked out with DPW for that porch. So we're excited, it's gonna be great. Some of the projects at McKay are a little bit in a holding pattern. There's the masonry for the front stairs in that porch. As you may have seen if you've been by the main library, those stairs have pretty much just given up. So Christine and her team are really concentrating on getting that big project done. But those McKay stairs are still kind of on the back burner. And then that back door, the ADA ramp and automatic door project, that's still there. It's just gonna take a little bit longer to pull that together and make that happen, but it's still on the docket. So the thing that I really wanted to update the committee on is the library is working on our own strategic plan. We're coming to the end of the strategic plan that we're in now. We were able to, kind of make sure that we timed it along with the towns so that we were able to see kind of what was coming out of the community feedback and input from the town's plan, see the direction the town is heading in so that we can be sure that we're aligned with that. It's really important to us that McKay play a central role in our strategic plan. A lot's been put into McKay over the past number of years. We are seeing this growth. So we really want to be sure that we're continuing to support North Chelmsford with the McKay Library branch and make it into everything that it can be. So it's really important for us to get that kind of feedback and insight from those of you who know the area of town and the people who live there better than anybody else. So we do have a couple of community-wide forums that are coming up on April 29th, 6:30, and May 3rd, which is a Saturday at 2 p.m. There's going to be a community survey coming around that we certainly would love to have folks answer and have you share with other people in the community. But also, I would really love to be able to either, sit down with a couple people individually or do a smaller focus group, either with a few people from this committee or other people in town who you think would be great to give us a perspective on, we're really looking at the future. What do we think when we think about just the most vibrant McKay branch library in 3 years from now? What does that look like? So that we can think ahead and plan ahead for that. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, is that I would like to be able to just have some conversations with people specifically. So I didn't know if it would be okay if I give you, Virginia, kind of a link to the survey and those community forums, if you'd be willing to send it out to this committee, and then maybe if folks on this committee would share it out with other people and other people to come and talk to us.
We have an email notification that's going on. Also, there's a Friends of Vaughn Park, neighborhood watch. Listen, I'll share that, like I wrote a note about the April 29th meeting.
Okay,
So I'll look, it's on your website or?
that's great. Yep,
You'll send the details.
I'll send it and then
Okay.
we'll,
All right, and then I'll share it that way.
yeah, that would be terrific, because we
I'll put it
definitely
there
we wanna make sure that we're getting that in.
When you said that you were interested in meeting with whoever, are you talking about having a couple discussions with people on this committee? And so the larger community would go to the community forums, but were you looking for separate discussions with people on this committee?
I think that would be great, yeah.
Okay.
Just to make sure that we're getting that focus. So, I don't know if anybody here might be interested, or I can send you.
Well, let me just ask, are there people on the committee who are users of consistent users of the McKay Library, or who, regardless of whether or not you are, would like to meet with Leslie? We could just tell her now.
As the person who has the youngest kids, I'll sort of volunteer myself. Yes, I think I would love to meet with you. Talk through some of the programming we've been in a few times. So
Great,
We've got Brian.
thanks,
And-
Brian.
Absolutely, yeah. I will sort of get in touch with you through the chair and figure out a time to meet.
That's awesome.
Great.
Anybody else want to know that they'd be happy to talk to Leslie?
I'm always willing to talk, I can definitely have a discussion.
Volunteer.
I'm a constant user of that library, which Jen's library.
Can I volunteer?
We want to know from everybody, what it might look like. So that would be great. Thank you.
I thought you had a question. I know you had a question.
Amazing.
Okay. And we'll just email out to everybody and they can.
Yeah, we'll see if we can
Directly.
get more
Great.
people.
All right.
We've got a couple takers right now, so.
I love it. Thank you. So I don't know if anybody has any questions about what's going on with McKay. I'm hoping that we can get involved with other activities and events that are happening and it's part of the action plan. So
Are you the same hours as the main library or separate, different hours?
no, McKay is open many fewer hours. So
Okay.
we're there Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays, and Mondays 1 to 5. Wednesdays right now is 3 to 6. Fridays is 9:30 to 1:30. Everybody know? 9 to 1. One of the things that we're really interested in digging into and looking at is what would it look like to add hours to the McKay schedule? Because that's definitely something that limits what we can do there, hence the lockers, just trying to make some ways. We were able to last summer, towards the end of the summer, stay open a little bit later on Wednesday nights for the concerts, so that the library wasn't kind of closing just right when concerts were starting. So that is the kind of thing we want to investigate, is if we were able to add any hours at McKay, where should those go? Where and when would people use them?
Is the concert schedule set yet or no?
It's super close.
Okay.
It'll be Wednesdays in July and August, as usual, and we've got probably of the 8 or so. I think we've got 6 locked in and 2 more coming, so
Let us know whatever you want us to share when we feel like that's ready.
absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
It almost seems like it would be a great idea if, when you're having your concerts, being overlapped and open, just so you have foot traffic in there, of seeing what you're like, because these hours limit a lot of people's ability to go there for sure.
Exactly, yeah.
And I meant to say, I'd be happy to talk to you too, just with the caveat that I'm not a big user of the McKay library, so.
Well, then we want to know.
It has nothing to do with the library, it's more me.
No, not at all. I mean, and that's the thing, and as you know, having been involved with the town, strategic planning isn't about what people are doing right now or what they did a year ago. It's about, what does it look like 3 years from now if we had more people using McKay, or if McKay is being used in some different ways. Does it offer different things? So we want to talk to everybody who has an imagination about what great things could be happening in that part of town.
I love the idea of that locker system outside, being able to pick up a book because you go to the other library, the main library, because you have to. It's just the hours they have, so this gives you an option of picking up. Very close.
2 reasons: for the convenience for anybody on that side of town, but then also for the awareness of the library, and to be able to offset the fact that you can't, have that many hours open anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we think it's great. I hope it's a bigger project that we can do in the library too. But, it's amazing, since we've been reopened, the people who come for, whether it's concerts or whether it's programs or things, and you hear many different things. And some of them are, wow, I haven't been here since my kids were little. This is amazing. Or people who come for something, like when we did the big eclipse thing, people came and they were, I didn't realize this was here in the middle of this neighborhood. This is great. And we're seeing now, kids riding their bike to the library again. And McKay just has that different feel because it's in a neighborhood, because it's walkable, because you can get there. It has that sort of small, nice feel to it that's really different from the main library. So we do want to have people know that it's there, and people can use the lockers even if they don't live in the Chelmsford.
It's great, you guys have increased accessibility for that, so it's good.
Anything else for Leslie? Anybody on Zoom?
All right, I got some of you on my list and more of you will jump in.
Thank you very much. Appreciate all you do.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Don't stay too late, it's beautiful out there.
So the next item on our agenda, the next three bullets are all related to the Vinyl Square traffic plan, the Mass DOT plan, and some of the feedback that we got to date. Is anybody here prepared to speak for Christine, or do you want me to just kind of touch on the highlights of her email?
No, nobody said.
Okay. I was looking at Paul, but he was. So I know this was distributed to Joe distributed to the committee members, but I'll just, for the public, I'll try to summarize what Christine said here. So as you know, the 25% plan was submitted to Mass DOT, and she has received input from other individuals, and DPW is planning to respond to that input and get with the submitter within the next month, was her target for that. It includes, they're aware that there's a question of the impact on the parking spaces. Some of that cannot be helped. For example, the bike lanes are not something that are negotiable with the state, and that I think is part of what's taking away parking spaces, as well as some other things with the design. Wright Street will be one way that adds 6 spaces, although there's still a net loss of 13. There were questions raised about ADA spaces. Those will be coordinated during the design. The signalization at Middlesex and 3A was something that I think she discussed last time. The state doesn't intend to incorporate that because of the timing between the lights, and they feel that it would be more detrimental than helpful. And also there was an adjustment suggested to Middlesex Street, but that cannot be easily accomplished because it's considered an Article 97 adjustment, which means that you're taking away land that's classified a certain way from the state. And the only way to do that is to go through like a 2+ year approval process and trade it out for something else in town. That's correct, Paul? These are my layman's descriptions, so feel free to jump in. There were also some questions about deeded spots, and Christine is going to be reviewing that with town council. So that is not, we are looking at that. I think the rest of this sidewalk materials are concrete and granite. There were some connections from Lawton proposed by some residents that would require the town to purchase land. It has permitting implications. It's not necessarily off the table, but it's something that would have to be further evaluated. And at the last meeting, there were some folks that stood up during public input and suggested the possibility of the town looking into buying the hardware store. And if they were to, it can be explored, but if they were to do that, then she would have to reset back to the beginning of the 25% design again. Because the fact that that hardware store is there took some other options off the table that they couldn't consider because it was there. And it would also be a town expense to do that. And I personally don't know what the climate is right now with the current budgetary climate, if that would be feasible or not, but she does have it on her screen. So that's all I have on that.
Is it possible to get a copy of that? Because I don't think I have one.
I noticed that when Joe forwarded it, he didn't include you and Aaron, and I sent it this afternoon, so you should have it in your town email, okay?
Okay.
Virginia, before I got a quick one. Just procedurally, so we're gonna continue with the pattern of submitting comments directly to Christine? Is that how we want to go between now and, I don't know, when does the period close?
There were some resident comments that were submitted to her. I didn't understand that the committee still had comments. But if you do, if the committee members, if you do, she would be the one to give them to. I did speak with her briefly last week and she said there will be, this is only the 25% design, so she anticipates from Mass DOT and Howard Stein Hudson that there will be another opportunity for public input as the design matures or as it goes through the next stages.
Perfect.
But the 25% design was submitted, is that correct, Paul?
Yes.
Right.
Great. Then I'll prepare them and hold them. Or at least circulate to the committee and we can discuss it next month then. It's not like time urgent that we get comments in before the 25 is submitted. It's already been submitted. Does that sound like a plan
how
then?
Christine would prefer to handle this? Because like, she's the,
Yeah, I mean, I think the quicker she receives them, the quicker she can forward them to Mass.
right,
Mass
so
Dot.
if Brian has individual comments,
You can submit them to
you
her
can
directly.
you can submit them, just, recognizing they don't represent committee inputs, and then if you want, we can talk about it at the next meeting, if you want to bring people up to speed with what you submitted. But the clock is still moving, so I would hate to hold you up for the next meeting.
Totally fair. I guess what I'm trying to avoid is piling on or sort of commenting at an inappropriate juncture, right? Like I recognize the train's moving, so
Right.
I want to give her comments in a time that she's expecting to receive them, not like beget a change that then sort of churn the wheels at MassDOT, where they feel like it's not done. It's very much done. It's a huge monumental achievement. So hooray! They're nitpicky stuff. So happy to just relay them to Christine and say not urgent. Will do. Thanks.
Christine was sorry she couldn't be here with the conflict of school vacation.
School vacation. All good.
This is a good time.
Tell her Paul said to give them to her.
No, she does want it. I mean,
I would sign up.
Okay.
Yeah.
trust me, yeah, and then.
We don't need to be the
I'd
screen.
like to add in a comment also. I'm a little, if everybody can hear me, I'm a little concerned about losing space in Vinyl Square. Sorry, Joan Walters. I've been in North Chelmsford Barbershop for, 27 years. And we've been always concerned about parking. So my biggest concern after reading all the notes leading up to this meeting is that we would add additional space for electric vehicles. Now, in my barbershop right now, my mirror, when I'm looking at it, looks right back into the additional spots that we actually have right now. And usually I see one, barely ever two. And where we're going to be in this plan, where we're going to be losing more parking spaces, I'm concerned about adding additional space to have more electric vehicles. So I just want to put that in because I'm looking out for all the businesses in North Chelmsford, and we have concerns with parking as we go forward right now. So I just want to make sure that that's taken into consideration, and hopefully that when we go forward with that, that's something we look into.
Yeah, and I understand, and Joan and I talked about that briefly, and with the as this evolved, as we're talking about this, we already have the concern with losing any spots, right? And we've talked about that. Now with the addition of adding stations, charging stations, I don't know if there's leeway of who uses those spots because we're so tight with these spots in Vinyl Square, and it's just a value add in case that is electric. And then obviously they move, but I don't know if that would mean that it would prohibit, non-electric cars from parking there. I think that would be a challenge if that was the case. So we don't know even though they're adding stations, when I read that, it's just they're adding stations. I don't know necessarily if that means they're gonna, prohibit a non-electric car from parking there when there's limited parking. I think as a town, we can manage that appropriately with the police station or whatever, but it may be a requirement for all the requirements that the master.
So what I would think is normally anybody that would see a charging station as a customer to any business in North Chelmsford would feel that was not an appropriate place to park. So therefore it would take away from businesses. So I'm just putting that out there that I don't think that's a good idea.
I'm trying to think of any parking spaces like that that show up.
So we can forward that concern to Christine. I think, Paul, I don't know if you can speak to this, but I think there's also a balance with other green initiatives and requirements that the town is trying to comply with in the future. So, do you want to add anything, Paul, or?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is under state right of way.
Right.
And MassDOT's, funding it and calling the shots. And I think that's the challenge is, they set these electric vehicle charging spaces specifically for electric, I'm just sort of looking here at the screen. I think they can be fined if they're not,
I think,
can we not designate them? Yeah, that's the question.
I think
So we can ask the question.
Right.
I think it's an important point to actually say that whoever requests that we go with extra parking needs to know whether or not we need them and what do we need to grow North Chelmsford. We're all about trying to help develop businesses, bring people into our community. So we want to make it accessible so that they can do that. So if it's not being used, how important really is it for the businesses?
So Joan, are you willing to provide that input directly to Christine, or are you looking for us to do that for you?
Either way, it's not real. I mean, it's not, either way. I'm just saying that I'm there. I was there all the time. Now I'm just there one day a week. But I've never seen anybody ever wait for the charging stations that are already present on Middlesex Street. So I just think that whatever they're giving us for whatever grant money or however that's working out, we could always use that in a totally different way. The problem with parking in North Chelmsford's been a long time problem. This is not something that we want to eliminate more. I get if we have to do that to make things safe, that's good, but not eliminate more by adding more charging stations. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And can I just interject? I just want to make sure I understand. The EV stations that we're talking about are for fall 2025, independent of the final square plan, correct? And they're going in the municipal lot.
We have, no, we have, the town installed electric vehicle charging stations in Vinyl Square. This design for the reconstruction is independent of that, and it's done under MassDOT guidelines, just like the bike lanes and everything else. And so I just don't have the answers to whether those can be waived or non-restricted spaces. We'll have to find that out.
So we can raise the question.
Yeah, we can raise the question.
Okay, thank you. I just didn't know. I didn't quite understand if it was 2028
right.
or.
Yeah.
I'll read the note from
not.
Christine's email if you'd like.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, one moment.
Go ahead. We just.
Okay. The Vinyl Square charging station, 6 fast charging ports will be installed Vinyl Square municipal lot. Easements are pending approval at town meeting. Scheduling of the work will commence after easements are approved at town meeting, hopefully for fall 2025.
So that's separate from the
That's
mass
separate,
DOT.
It's separate from it.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are in the parking lot. Those are the parking, right, those are in the municipally owned portion of the park.
Right, and that's already been gone through town
And then
meeting.
the town
so-
has to say whether we restrict those or not. And I don't see that would be an issue within the town. If the
We have
state
full
wants to put
control.
someone on the roadway in Middlesex, and that's their
Right.
call.
So you could put signage up that says they're not necessarily restricted
Yeah,
to
so that's full
electric vehicles.
control. Okay, so this
Thank
charge,
you, Joe, sorry, I didn't know it was a separate.
no, that's fine. So Joan, that is separate, so there aren't the same requirements of this project. So we'll have full control over how they manage and who can use them. That's-
Okay,
Great.
all right.
Okay, so the next thing on the agenda is the clock tower update. Bill is not here, but they've raised enough money for the clock. And Christine Clancy at DPW is working on the installation with the town electrician and National Grid. to prep the area.
Yeah, it's under manufacturing right now, but it hasn't been delivered.
Right.
And then, you know, I think that's in another several weeks before it's delivered.
Paul, do you want to handle the Freeman Lake update or?
You're doing a great job now. No, I mean,
I keep going, she's.
Yeah, you keep going.
I figured you might know more than I do, but, so what Christine reports on the Freeman Lake is that they are going in front of the Conservation Commission on May 12th to get, to file a notice of intent to get approval to spot treat the areas in Freeman Lake, which was discussed at length at the February meeting of this committee. And then it sounds like you're also working to try to get other funding for the diversion structure, which was the second priority. So
Yeah.
you're working through our legislators and
Yeah,
others
it's on the list of earmarks that were submitted today, which as part of
And we
the
have
House
a-
budget. Yeah, so we'll know by the end of this month, meaning the end of next week, whether it survived the House budget. If it survives the House budget, then ultimately it's gonna have to survive the conference committee budget. So we'll know one step by the end of next week, and then we'll just keep our fingers crossed.
Just before you leave that, all interested parties, for, against, or otherwise, should attend that meeting if possible.
The
The Conservation Commission.
Yeah, the Conservation Commission meeting. The conservation agent has basically indicated that the commission and other regulatory boards take into account the public's position. And the only way that the commission can document the public's position is if the public is involved in the public hearing. So that can be done as an individual in person. It can be done via Zoom. It can also be done as a group via petitions. But interested parties, it's in their best interest to engage with the Conservation Commission public hearing process.
He has a question back.
Are you saying this May 12th opposition for the public is for the Vinyl Square intersection?
No.
No, it's for
The Freeman Lake.
We're on the Freeman Lake topic now. So in order to do the spot treatment in Freeman Lake, the DPW has to submit a notice of intent to the Conservation Commission and get permission from them to do that spot treatment that was discussed at length during this committee's February meeting.
So you already talked, I know I showed it at the other building, so you already talked about the Vinyl Square intersection? Or is that coming up later, or?
No, we already statused the Vinyl Square intersection. I can talk to you again offline, I don't wanna.
Okay. Yeah,
There really isn't much except a status report, and that there has been some public input submitted, I think from you to Christine. She's
Yeah.
working on that over the next month. And
Okay.
she's gonna get feedback directly to you and work directly with you over the next month.
yeah, because I wasn't sure, because basically it seemed like today's meeting was to push that design forward.
The design, the 25% design has already been submitted to
Yeah.
the state.
Yeah.
There's still opportunity to influence the
Yeah.
design as it moves forward. And the feasibility of what you're suggesting and the deed restriction and things like that, she hasn't gotten through all that yet, so she's gonna work that with you over the next month.
Okay, as long as somebody's willing to talk to me about this.
Oh, yeah,
Right, Christine.
yeah, yeah, okay.
That's what I was here for too.
That's what you were here for?
I'm the hardware store.
You're the you are?
I am the hardware store.
Yeah.
Thank you for
So
coming.
you're Louise.
Yeah,
That's why I'm sitting here smiling.
I think that's you are.
I've been the hardware store for 8 years, so
Well, thank you, appreciate you coming.
I have to stay on top of it,
Okay,
especially since I have it now very active
great.
and I need parking.
I know that there's a huge sensitivity to the parking right now and influencing what we can influencing and recognizing too that there's some things that are just non-negotiable because it's state controlled.
Yeah.
So
You know,
that's the balance of
That's
it.
the scary part of it all is how do you have businesses there if you don't have any parking?
Mhm.
And it's very active in the building right now, so. Maybe I can put parking on the roof, it's a flat roof.
Yeah, if you didn't catch that for the minutes, Louise is suggesting she could put parking on the roof of the hardware store because it's a flat roof.
You can do a whole remodel on that corner and build a garage underneath. That
No,
would
the garage.
improve the building and.
No,
Okay.
underneath is rented, so it's like.
Yeah, well, my main concern was, that they're just sticking to one design. I wanted to kind of show that there are definitely other options and that the business owners and the residences, the people that own those properties are willing to work with whoever to try to get some of our needs, you know. We don't want just a design, we
You've
want
got your
something that's
inputs in the
gonna
right
hopefully-
place right now.
Yeah.
It really, like, we don't have the expertise to work that with you here, so.
Okay, I just wanted
Christine's the right
to
point of contact.
make.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we have Barney Park and the playground updates. I don't know if anybody has anything.
Yeah, Jason's not here.
Yeah, Jason's was not able, I didn't hear from him.
Paul, you wanna just mention the bench?
Yeah, the select board had a request for an a memorial bench, in Barney Playground. When a request like that comes in for the board's policy, a select board member was assigned to it. It was Erin Drew who was assigned to it. She then worked with the DPW director, Christine Clancy, as well as Steve Callahan, the playground facilities director at Public Works. They found a suitable location. The bench is a metal bench, so it's meant to last, because the concern was you didn't want something that was wood or so it didn't fit in the area. And the select board at their last meeting gave approval for the installation of the bench. That's gonna be paid for by the donor. Basically, it's a memorial bench. I think it was greatly appreciated by the donor for the town to honor the request. And the town will consider other ones that are similar to it. And again, the first characteristic is does the gift of a bench fit in the area that's proposed? And then obviously, is it one that is going to be durable and appropriate? And unfortunately, it's a little more costly than what we imagined, and that always matters. I don't have a date for when that will be installed, but I would imagine it'd be sometime over the next several weeks.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only update, and I was copied on Aaron's email to Christine. And I know Christine sent it to Steve, so I know about that. The exact placement, I guess they're gonna go into the open area where was for the future phase 2, if anybody wanted to.
It can be moved.
Yeah, no, that's the only question I have, in case then we adjust it, then that's fine, because there's obviously plenty of space there, and I think that's very nice that family wanted to do that. And I think it's appropriate too, but it'll be nice, and she thinks it'll be in the next couple of weeks, that's what I see too.
Okay. So that's all you have for that, Jim?
Yes.
And then the next thing you have under that is the neighborhood subcommittee. So I'm gonna need some help on this one, I don't know.
I will
what the
take
neighborhood
this,
subcommittee is.
yeah, and I was going to ask Jason, and I will follow up with Jason, if you would like to have, and Steve Callahan hasn't joined us here tonight too. But in the past, we have had a neighborhood, Bonnie Park neighborhood committee that would just be the eyes and ears, and maybe they'd plan some family functions and events in there. And pre-COVID lockdowns, we had a good, transitional amount of people. It was about 25 people that were there looking to really carry that torch in. But we've had a difficult time getting people to, really volunteer for that. So I'm gonna just try to emphasize reviving that, and I'll send a message out to that group. And I was hoping to talk to Jason about meeting with them for safety. That's what we used to do with Colin and all that. So I'll follow up with Jason about trying to revive that and have a neighborhood meeting down at Garnet.
Okay. So next up is the tree replacement. You have Brian and yourself on this.
Yes, I'll take it since I'm in the room. Brian and I are in conversations because the arborvitaes that we're working with the tree committee, and the only thing really with ADA compliance in the square is we ultimately put some nice planters for trees. Arborvitaes are in there, but we had 3 or 4 of them that died, and that Brian and I will work with DPW to put those planters back out there and get some new ones in there and see if we can get some, solar lights up and running again. And we expect to do that in the next couple weeks.
You're still going with arborvitaes?
What's that?
Are you still going with arborvitaes?
Yes. The ones that, we had ones that were bought at a nursery, I won't say which one, but that died sooner than the ones I picked up at BJ's, so we're gonna try and get them at BJ's again. And they seem to last longer. I don't know if we're where they're getting them. We don't know where they're getting them this year, but we're gonna cross our fingers on that again. And space is limited and
I just didn't know if the conservation committee had any other options for you, because everybody's required a lot of water.
Yeah,
To
that's the other issue. And one thing, in fact, we did get an update from Janet Murphy, who also handles the planters. And she said Mahoney's is willing to donate them, and she'll work with DPW to make sure that they're installed as per usual throughout the square. And there's a brigade, if anybody would like to help, and Laura Lynn's been doing a great job having her church go out there also helping. If anybody can help keep those planters watered. They're always nice in front of Joan's barbershop, wherever she goes. And, but, you're right, the watering is the big issue with both the arborvitaes and the, more so the planters. And the one last thing she said, she'll also be working with them to decorate the urns like we do in the holidays. Because the Memorial Day parade is this year in North, so she's gonna have the urns. It's not in North?
No, it's in the 7th.
I thought we were told it was going.
I don't know where it is. It was in
You
center
sure?
It was in center last year.
It was the last year.
Yeah,
I'll ask the town manager,
I
maybe.
think so. No?
Because
I don't remember.
It was in North last year. No,
You
I'm
sure it
sure
wasn't?
You're
We-
right, it was.
It used to always be the odd number year was
Okay.
North, and even was in the center, but then we lost the year because of the pandemic.
Oh,
So it all got
okay.
switched, so now
Oh,
the
okay.
odd number years in the center and the even number years in North. But we were in North last year.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I remember marching
I
down.
forget.
Yeah, so.
All right.
And we met George then.
Yeah, exactly, so yes, so I know it's, yeah, we met
So it all
George.
comes back to that.
So it's not gonna, there's no.
All right, well,
You'll be looking for a lot of people if you're out there.
well, you know what though? I'm not gonna,
Next month.
I'll let Janet know, but maybe we can still have the urns looking nice.
Yeah.
No, get the, yeah, let me go with patriotic, yeah, of course.
Was Janet also looking for watering, or is she?
Yes.
Is she organized?
We definitely, if we can get any more help with watering.
I know Bridget from Rosie's, she was doing the watering of the plants and planting the plants of those planters that are in that parking lot on their side of the street.
Oh, okay, good, yeah, yeah.
And I know she does the planters in front of her.
She does, but yeah, anybody, and I'm glad when they see the businesses do that, because it's,
You might have somebody reach out to talk with her, but I know
Hang on a second, Joan.
she's definitely interested in obviously
Okay,
keeping
so
the
if
area.
you're having trouble hearing, the comment from the public was that Bridget from Rosie's may also still have interest in helping with the watering. Joan, what were you trying to say? Joan, you're on mute. I thought she was trying to say something.
If she puts one back in front of the store, I'll take care of mine
okay,
on water. Because I worked with her before, but I got busy in that other town, so, but I'm more active back at the building again, so
Okay.
I'll take care of one in Vinyl Square.
It may be the arborvitae, but whatever is in there, just keep
Yeah.
an eye on it, that's awesome.
I'll
Yeah,
tell
all
you.
hands, I appreciate that.
I hear that they have the beautiful flowers, when she did a good job on those.
So
Yeah,
Joe,
I actually look at what Bridget does and then kind of buy the same flowers, talk with her, buy her flowers and do them around my building.
Oh, nice.
So,
Or I can even buy my own urn and put flowers in it, whatever works out for her.
Like businesses, it sounds like you have some businesses that are willing to sponsor a planter, like is that something you guys have looked into before?
we have the planners already.
The idea of sponsoring the upkeep of them, like saying that they're whatever of the.
Yeah.
like other
No,
businesses.
we've done that, it's just then people get busy and it's all, yeah, it's nice to have a crew that keeps an eye on.
So Joe, are you gonna close it with the Janet on the
I will.
PPA or volunteer?
I can do that if you want, Joe.
Okay,
Oh, thank you.
thanks, Sophie. All right, just wanted to. The next thing is the Ledge Road update. Paul, can you handle this?
Yeah, I'll handle this one. The hearing on the zoning complaints has been continued till June at the request of the applicant and the town. We've had 3 meetings with the applicant, and then at the applicant's request, because remember the initial hearing, he claimed that the town wouldn't meet with him. Val Pager, yeah, is the neighborhood rep at the meetings. He's having a meeting, I guess, this week with the neighborhood to update them. There's really not a lot to update. We've had not only Newport in the room, we've had folks from Graves, which is Mr. Fletcher from Graves. I got that right, because sometimes I get confused. Fletcher, Corey, this Mr. Fletcher from Graves, Corey is present. They've attended the meetings, they're obviously concerned. I want to make it clear, no one, meaning Val, the town, everyone is saying there'll be no commercial trucks on Ledge Road. That's not the position of the town or the position of the neighborhood. If the concern, as you may be aware, is the volume of commercial trucks that has exceeded what historically has been there. And that obviously coincided with Newport's acquisition of the major quarry. And that's what we're working to try to resolve. I can also say that with the change in the election, 2 new select board members were brought on board. Of the 5, they met in closed session with council to be briefed on the status of it, and I can clearly say, and not violating anything, that I believe the commitment of the select board is the same as it was prior to the election and has historically been. So I want everyone to be assured that the select board of the town is committed to a solution and does not find the existing situation on Ledge Road, which we know will be ramping up if it hasn't already, to be acceptable. Why we're going through this effort is if we, the expectation is if the hearing continues and the decision is reached, then it would likely be appealed by either side. Obviously, the town would appeal if the Board of Appeals didn't honor the request in terms of the constraints on trucking, and it's very clear by the applicants of Newport that they don't appear to be willing to accept this solution that would restrict the trucks. So that's why we're continuing to meet to see if there's a solution, because we know if we stop, then it's gonna come to an outcome, and then the problem with that outcome is the length of time it would take to get through the court system, and what happens in the meantime. Because there's 2 choices that would happen in the meantime. It'd either be a injunction on limiting trucks or no injunction limiting trucks while the case is being adjudicated. And that's another uncertainty. So that's why all parties are working in their best interest to see if we can find a resolution to this. So that's all I can really say at this point, because the last meeting was not quite a month ago, but close to. And with vacation weeks and everything else, I haven't received any additional information beyond what was briefed to the select board, which wasn't different than when we had left the meeting a couple of weeks ago. So that's where things stand, and obviously hopefully there'll be a direction or a resolution in time for the June meeting, because nobody wants to continue this unnecessarily at this point.
Thank you.
That June meeting is June 5th at the police station.
Yeah,
And
they could
location
have a
change.
bigger venue because of the interest.
The ZBA meeting?
Yeah, they moved to the police station because of the insufficient venue, that can hold 70.
Okay.
But that won't be live, that will be taped.
Okay. Next up, Joe, you have the parade banner sales. What did you want to say about that?
The parade banner sales are currently up, and we just want to make sure that if any of the local businesses are going to buy one of the banners, please request that it gets put up in North, because sometimes it doesn't, and, and they try to spread them out, but.
Yeah, the form asks you, do you want it?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
do you want it
Is the
installed?
form on the website, the town
Yes.
website?
And you really need to do it the next couple of weeks to get the banners installed by Memorial Day.
Perfect, yes, and that's why, all right, so then please, if you've been considering it, do so now.
Yeah, I thought I saw a deadline somewhere like this month.
Yeah, it's
This week, maybe this week, maybe.
real soon, because they need time to manufacture them be hung. But yeah, I would do it like within the next week or two at the latest. I mean,
The next one is just general business or community developments, Paul or Adam.
So a couple of short list items. The Morose Ave 40B was approved by the zoning board at their last meeting. That's still within the appeal period. 255 Princeton Street, UMass West, Tremel Crow is actively under construction. Phase 1 occupancy is estimated to be during the month of May. Phase 2 is expected to be August, and the final phase is expected to be October. So there's a lot of activity up there to button up phase 1.
Yeah, they were testing fire alarm systems today, so that showed you how close they get.
That's impressive.
Yeah, you'll see occupancy within a month at this point.
That's quick.
Yeah, because what it's going to consist of is the townhouses when you pull in, that's the first phase in the left. And then that building 3, which is on the right, and then obviously the sewer treatment plant, that'll be the first phase. And like I said, they're obviously trying to push this, because they're finally getting some good weather to work as well. So like I said, within a month, you'll see people in there, and they obviously have a security and a phase plan of how they can keep the residents safe while they're doing the remainder of the construction, because you want construction safety as well as resident safety.
Are they using another entrance? Is there some other?
There's only one way in.
There's only one
No
way.
other way out.
They set up a light out there. The light was working on it last time.
Yeah.
3 new restaurants in Drum Hill. Jersey Mike's will be opening where the former Plaster Fun Time was located. An Indian restaurant is opening up at the former Buff City Soaps. You should all be aware of Kava that recently opened. And then the final item I would mention is
Popeyes is supposed to be making progress to reopen. They just.
Oh, they are gonna reopen?
Yeah, they're gonna reopen, yeah. It's just, we can't figure out why it's taking so long, but they did submit plans to the Board of Health, so they will reopen.
the final item is the planning board is actively pursuing a rezoning effort. They are targeting areas that directly abut industrially zoned land. So in North Chelmsford, that's primarily the mills on Middlesex Street, portions, the property off of Wellman Ave. And so the planning board is trying to address existing and potential land use and zoning conflicts. So they're advancing an idea of creating a new zoning district that would be called CB, which is business, but a light version of existing CB. So that's in the works. You're well represented on this committee. I think moving forward, your planning board rep will be able to provide some updates, and that would be no sooner than an October fall town meeting. That's all I have.
I've just got a couple additions that come to mind. One is, obviously, the liquor store on Princeton Street is going up. If you go by there now,
10 stories?
No, it's only 2 stories. The steel is up, as you can see, and the sign that there's a liquor store coming, but indicates that they're actually making progress next to Princeton Station. And I just went by it today because I was up at Rosie's with my mom this morning. That's moving forward. Yeah.
What's do you know the concept of the 2 stories? Is that?
Yeah, I think originally they were gonna have a basement.
Okay.
And then I think because of the water table and such there, and they went with a slab. And so my understanding is the retail will be on the first floor, and then the second floor is for office space and maybe some wine, wine tasting, that kind of storage.
Yeah. So it was always a 2-story building.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's storage, yeah.
So above ground, nothing has changed.
They will have parking.
They have ample parking, yeah. And so that's, so that is one to note that. The other thing that's come in the past month, and I welcome your feedback and don't need an answer tonight, is we've been approached, meaning the town has been approached by Verizon for cell tower locations. And the one that they're looking at, asking at the town's response would be 54 Richardson Road, which is where the dog park is, the DPW yard. Again, not asking for an answer in the moment, but people have thoughts or reactions to that, because I will bring it to the select board saying, look, is there any interest from the town? What do we say to these folks? Because it is allowed by zoning, but it's a peculiar site because, you've got the neighborhood, remember the town has a sand pit there, and you've got obviously a topography issue. But, we're seeing, and it's not, we're actually getting an upgrade on this building by AT&T. So this demand, because of society and the prolific expanding use of wireless, we're getting a lot of inquiries. I mean, they also inquired about a number of conservation parcels where it's not even possible.
Do you expect that you would organize like a formal public input session?
Yeah, I know it's what the select board thinks, but while you're here, because I don't know, I mean, obviously you could bring revenue to the town, I don't know what the rates are these days. But to me, I'm not only concerned about revenue, it's also a question about signal strength. In other words, if people are having, one of the reasons they have cell towers isn't just about money for the town, it's also if residents are getting poor service. And obviously, that would expand capacity as well as if there are any, service areas. Anyway, I mentioned that because that's something new that came in as well. My first question is what's allowed by zoning? It would be there.
Not to sound flippant, but do you have any leverage to get them to bury the center wire?
Yeah. It's a totally different aspect of. Well, that's going to town meeting next week.
I was still there when they, with the same company now, wireless and the landline are the same company.
They're the same company, but they're totally different people that you deal with.
Have you seen the ones that they covered and make them look more natural?
Oh yeah, they look like a pine tree.
Yeah, as long as they're
All the dogs will go right over the tree.
But I just want to mention that, and then the last thing I have, and I'm glad people are still on the call in the room, but the concern about parking, and I want people to be aware because nobody likes surprises. The town lot in the Vinyl Square, the town owns only the front portion. The 40 Vinyl Square parcel, which is the rear portion of that lot, the lease on that expires in a year. So that has to be addressed, because it's a new property owner than when the new provided the formal lease.
Which one?
Vinyl School right in the center, if you,
Adjacent to the Rosie's?
across the street from Rosie's.
Oh, okay.
Municipal lot, the
Where-
town doesn't own the whole lot.
How many spaces does the town own?
Where you park for like the dry cleaner and the martial arts?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, so you look in your GIS maps of the systems,
Yeah.
the town owns the front part, it had a 25-year, $1 a year lease on the rear part. That now is up for expiration or renewal, and that's within a year now. I think it's May of 26. So I bring that because if anybody knows the new property owner has a good relationship, we're talking so much about parking in the center, that it also created the issue about people saying about connecting, remember we talked all those years about connecting to Watton Street?
Right.
Well, that's from, again, that's not town property, that's from the private portion of the municipal parking lot. So I want people to be aware of that so that people aren't like, oh my gosh, you know.
There is some wetlands there, but that, just looking at it, that, I don't know who owns it as well, but that could be expanded up with more parking spots along with the easeway to walk.
I know that, but.
So we should find out who does own that.
It's owned by the owner of 40 Vinyl Square.
Because that could be a huge impact, like to not have traffic come out into the intersection from there, to create that other exit and a little bit more parking would be huge.
I can tell you about, time goes by. Within 6 or 10 years ago, the town had, Mike McCall was here, so that's going back.
Yeah.
We had discussions with the property owner on Watton Street.
Yeah.
And they weren't conducive to a sale of the property, because it would have to be a eminent domain taking if the property owner doesn't want to sell. And basically the owner was looking to do was to sell the entire parcel to the town, because he thought it would devalue his property to have that entryway out towards Watton Street. So again, I know that, so anyway, but the more pressing and more immediate issue is the fact that that lease on that lot, which we call the municipal lot, the rear is not town owned, it's under a 25-year recorded.
Paul, is your concern that we don't know what would happen with respect to parking on the lot, or that they could turn it into something else?
They could turn it into something else. I mean, they may say, no, we want to put something else there, and they may not want to continue. They're not obligated to continue to, offer to the town.
They would have to go get by the planning board, though.
Yeah, but they can't be unreasonable.
Is the parking owned by one of those two buildings?
It's owned by 40 Vinyl Square, yeah.
Which one is 40?
40 is to the right, to the right. No, to the right.
The one with the karate.
Yes.
So they own that park.
They own that.
I'll make contact with the new owners. When they initially purchased that property, they engaged. So they were aware of the concept. They were in the process of trying to figure out what the long-term plan was for
Thank you,
the
Evan.
property.
Yeah, we just haven't heard anything, so I just wanted you to know, because as we know, a year goes by fast.
But
Okay.
would the town ever be interested in that?
Sure, but, we would.
We have to get an offer from them.
Yeah, we ideally want a willing seller.
Right.
Because, again, you can see how it impacts the value of the building, because parking there.
Right.
I mean, the perfect thing would be just, it ain't broke, don't fix it, but as I said, they're not obligated to the point to. So I just wanted to raise those concerns. And then the final thing, which is economic development in a slight way, is the boat launch.
Yeah.
I received a letter in the mail today that the state has put out a public comment period for the repair of the boat launch, which is part of their permitting process. I shared that with Representative Elliott, with the fire chief. I know there's frustration about the duration that it's taken to get this done, but the state has, is advancing the ball, and right now I think the public comment period is out for that.
You can share that with us.
Yeah, I'll share it to the committee, yeah.
Yeah.
It literally just came in today. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. All right, so next up, we wanted to talk about scheduling future meetings. Let me just share my screen in case you weren't able to. I sent a thing very late today, but let me just explain my thought process here. Can you guys on Zoom see that okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Thanks.
So, I spoke to a couple people who aren't here tonight because I knew they wouldn't be here tonight. And I just was trying to get an idea of what the existing constraints were. There's a couple ways we can approach this. We can pick a regular meeting time. We can just pick some meeting times for the next fiscal year, or we can go like 3 meetings at a time, or the going kind of 1 meeting at a time just seems to be putting a lot of delay between when we're meeting. And a couple of people asked me about just like knowing what they needed to plan on for their calendar. So, if you kind of look at what the known conflicts are, especially Tuesday through Thursday, I was landing at, unless others have a conflict with Mondays, perhaps going back to a Monday meeting might be the most straightforward approach. We would just have to work around select board and town meetings. And then what I did at the bottom part of the chart was to just say, I looked through when are the select board meetings, when are the town meetings, and when are the holidays. And the dates that I listed at the bottom are the dates that would be available for us to meet if Monday was an acceptable night for the committee. And just to finish out my thought process, and then I'll just open it up for discussion and input. We're meeting now on April 22nd. I don't know if it would really be that critical if we don't meet in May, because we could meet again June 9th, which is like 6 weeks out, right? Take the July date, then maybe meet the end of August, the end of September, and that way we wouldn't have to feel compelled to meet in October, because there's no Mondays available, and then just pick it back up like November 10th, December 15th, January 12th, February, and March. And at least put them on the calendar, and if for some reason we don't feel we need to meet, we can always cancel it. And if we need to move something around in real time, we can do that as it comes up. But that was my first thought in terms of people being able to just plan. If you look at Tuesday nights, they get kind of messy, especially for Christine Clancy. She could probably send a sub, but she sometimes has to go to Conservation Commission. She always has to go to the Permanent Building Committee, and I looked at their meetings over the last year, and they've been bouncing around on different Tuesdays. They don't have a consistent one. And then Wednesdays, Evan and Saritha have the planning board, the school building committee, which also involves Christine and Paul, has been meeting on Wednesdays with backups on Thursdays, so they've been kind of bouncing around too. And then Christine has to commit to the tree committee. And then Thursdays, I wasn't sure, Evan, if the ZBA consumes you, and then we have, that's been the school building committee alternate option, but we also have a couple people where Thursday is difficult to accommodate in general. So I'll just stop talking now. Are there any thoughts about maybe trying the Monday, or?
What would the time be?
What?
What time does the meeting start?
We usually, the committee is typically met at 7, but we can decide what we want to do. Anybody, so let me just kind of go around maybe, are you guys okay if I stop sharing for a moment? Because I can't see who's on Zoom. Oh, wait, there we go. Brian, what do your thoughts?
This is really organized, so thank you, Virginia. That's my first thought. And yeah, Mondays are great.
Told you it was an upgrade.
All right, Joan? Joan, you're muted. We'll come back to you. Laura?
I know, I'm good. Wait a minute, what happened?
You're good with Mondays, Joan? You're cutting out, I'm
I
sorry.
can't hear Joan.
She needs to run.
Hold on.
She needs a cell tower.
What did she say?
I think she said, hold on.
Okay, how about we'll keep going. Laura?
Sure. Mondays, I think, are good for me.
Laura Lynn?
Same, yep, Mondays work for me.
Paul?
Yeah, it is.
Sarita?
Yeah, just November 24th is the week of Thanksgiving. I don't think that's.
Yeah, I would do November 10th because we're not meeting.
Sorry, yes, Mondays work.
we'll pick the Mondays in a minute, but does that philosophy work? Mike?
Yeah, Mondays work. I mean, there's gonna be some Mondays that I won't be able to attend.
That's okay, and I know Bill Gillette had travel constraints, so
Yeah.
he said like Monday or Thursday would be better. Joe?
I'm on country right now, so yeah, I will go along with
But you're
whatever.
definitely not Tuesdays
Right.
too, right?
No, I like Tuesdays, but that's fine.
Joan, I'm sorry, do you want to say something?
No, I was just saying, no, Mondays work fine. I'm sorry. My phone kept on flashing. I'm driving back home, so it's
That's
been a
okay.
little bit difficult.
So I'm gonna go through and pick the Mondays, and if you don't like it, somebody shout out, okay? Because we're not meeting in May, I'm gonna suggest June 9th.
That's fine.
And then July would take us to July 21st. And then that's toward the end of the month, so my suggestion was gonna be August 25th. And then September 29th. And then we skip October, so in November, we would go to November 10th. And avoid Thanksgiving week. Take the December 15th, the January 12th, the February 2nd, and I really don't care about the March one. I was gonna pick the 2nd just because it's a month out, or we can pick the 16th.
All right, we're all gonna have to have that meeting in Florida at my condo, okay?
Sorry, you're cutting out
She's gonna be
again.
in a condo, so she'll have to call in.
Sorry, I was just thinking, like, we're all going to my Florida condo. Those
That's
meetings.
okay, remote participation's fine. Do you wanna just say March 2nd, everybody?
Yeah.
All right, so I will also email that list out to everyone. So that would put our next meeting after this one on June 9th. Which kind of takes us to the next topic, which was, are there any things that you want to put on a future agenda for discussion or for consideration? You had 25 initiatives or input, so are there things that you want to put on a future agenda? And if not, that's okay too. I'll just work with Joe to create whatever's relevant for that date.
I'm still curious about the plantings. I don't know if you're gonna talk about those more when you come back in June, in the summertime.
Well, they'll probably be done, so let's talk a little bit about it now. What are you
No, I'm just
curious
curious if
about?
you're getting, at that point, if they're still getting maintained, how they look, you know, what's the feel there? Because we still have a couple months left of summer by June.
Yeah, this is kind of a standard flower mix in the white, like lookwood, but there are resin planters that are throughout. And then the tree planters are metal, like a black, strapping metal. But, they get confused for trash.
You know, again, I guess my question was, in June, could somebody bring back a report of how they're doing?
Yeah, sure.
That's all.
Okay, so Bill, thanks for joining. Just so you know where we are, we're kind of toward the end. We just picked certain Mondays to meet for our remainder meetings this fiscal year that don't conflict with select board or town meeting, and I will send those dates out. And right now, we're talking about anything that we might want on a future agenda for June 9th or otherwise. And if not, I will just, I'll put something together with Joe at the time, when the time gets closer, and with Evan.
Nope, that makes sense. Sorry for being late.
No worries.
Thanks for joining.
Still in the office.
We don't, the minutes weren't on the agenda, but I didn't see any, so I just need to calibrate. Were there minutes approved already for December?
No, there were
Okay.
not minutes approved for December. I have them completed. I just completed them before this meeting tonight. So I have those to send in. I also have February 13th to complete and send in, and then I'll have tonight's. So I'm gonna have to work on those.
So when our next meeting will be June 9th, so we'll just put all three of those on that agenda for approval, and then we'll get them posted.
Okay, sounds good. I'll have them done.
And so Paul won't send any nasty names that they're not posted yet.
Thank you, Laura.
All right, great.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's everything then, right? So it's 8:20 PM. I'll take a motion.
Big motion adjourned. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.